Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome to First 15 at 8:15. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about powerfully preparing for and presenting your price. Now, we cover this over many days normally because it's a big topic, and I want you to prepare your marketing plan. Press is presenting your marketing plan. Present your marketing plan powerfully. Prepare for price, present price powerfully, get agreement on price, talk about price reductions. There's a lot here. You know, presenting marketing plans is one topic, preparing pricing and price reduction is a whole other topic. But for our purposes now, we're really talking about everything listings. And during this February time of year when we talk about everything listings, I'd like to give you an overview of a lot going on with your listing presentation. So to repeat, a better listing presentation is always built on a structure. As a matter of fact, everything that you do with quality and consistency is built on a structure. If you don't mind me mentioning it, the way you brush your teeth is built on a structure. You probably start on one side, maybe you start with a sensitive side, you know, maybe you floss first, then you brush, or you use some kind of dental, you know, water pick or whatever. But my point is, you do that consistently, you do it well. When you go to the dentist and he tells you, gosh, you've done a nice job cleaning your teeth, you feel a sense of pride. And I laugh because I feel exactly the same way. The point is that we do that very well. Now, how and why do we do that very well? We do that very well because we do it because it's built on a structure. So some of these structures were built inadvertently. I want your listing presentation structure to be built consciously. That's a big structure. Early on, I talked to you about a basic structure of preparing and establishing rapport, marketing plan, price, signatures. But I normally go through with you this rather thorough plan. And we've actually been going through it for about a week now, through the month of February. So we started by asking questions over the phone. And in the Real Estate Grad School library, there's a page or two, I think it's one page, of what we call pre-listing questions over the phone that really prepare the seller and pre-sell you to the seller. So we covered that probably last Wednesday or so. If you go to the Real Estate Grad School library, or rather go to realestategradschool.com, look under Coaching and First 15, and the topics for the webinars probably help you pretty clearly indicate what days these things are on. Then I think that might have been on Thursday, because Wednesday or Thursday, because on Friday I believe we talked about pre-listing package. And okay, I showed you two examples, I believe, of pre-listing packages. And I don't think those got posted into the library over the weekend. So Chav, if you could remember, if you have those, let's post them. I'll give you titles for them. Pre-listing packages. But in the library there is a list of what to put into a pre-listing package. And today we're going to go to step 3. The reason some of them are in gray is those are the foundational ones. You know, asking questions over the phone is more optional. And sending a pre-listing package is more optional. And now we're going to talk about preparing price, which is not optional. And then tomorrow we'll talk about preparing and presenting marketing plan. So let's talk about preparing price. By the way, on the next slide are more items in a listing presentation. So over the course of this few weeks, we're going to cover every one of these pieces of your listing presentation. Today we're going to talk about price. I want to talk about doing the most accurate type of CMA. I have said many times, I was always very strong creating a CMA that was accurate. Now, did the seller always agree to price what I recommended? Of course not. Okay. Did I take the listing sometimes when they didn't agree with me? Of course. Did it sell? Many, many, many times. I wouldn't take an overpriced listing unless I felt that it had some significant benefit to me, or if I knew I had a seller who was really committed to moving and was cooperating with me. I think that's worth repeating. I would take an overpriced listing, and I recommend you take overpriced listings where having the listing has some benefit to you. You're going to get calls. You get recognition. You say, recognition? What if it doesn't sell? You've got your sign in front of that house in the neighborhood where you want to be known for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You know, and then another agent sign goes up. Oh my gosh, you know what? It doesn't damage you at all, particularly if you have used that as leverage to get one or two other signs in the neighborhood. Neighbors know when a house is overpriced. So I'm less worried about that. If it's going to benefit you in some reasonably significant way, and if the people aren't painful, or if they want to test the price but they are really committed to moving, then I'm perfectly comfortable with taking those listings. So to get the most accurate price, how did I determine what was really an accurate price? Because I've often said to some of you as we've talked about price, that I could go to any city USA and pick a house and give you a very accurate CMA. Give me access to the MLS and a car to drive through the neighborhoods and take a look at the houses from the outside, and I could give you a very accurate CMA. So I want you to know that you can be accurate, particularly as you get to know an area more and more. How do you do that? Number one, you get the most information from the owner about their move. Now, that's not so much. Getting the most information from the owner about their move is not so much about pricing the property accurately. Okay, you know, you could find out what they put into the house and how much they paid for it. That's cute. Not going to help you all that much, but it will help you by getting as much information from the owner about their move. And number two, well, let's talk about number two in a minute. Will help you present your price to the owner. It helps you present your price to the owner. So if you know that they put in a lot of money and they expect to get a lot of money from it, you can position yourself in a way to help them feel like they're really getting a good return on their investment. Now, you know what? There's a form I call sale price worksheet, and we do it a couple times a year. I think I'll do it with you tomorrow. I'll make a note. We'll do sale price worksheet tomorrow. Sale price worksheet, a different way to price. It's a lot of fun, very compelling to the owner, to the seller, but unique. Very few agents do it. I'll show you tomorrow. That's for tomorrow. For today, you want to get the most information from the owner about their move and about their house so that you can present price more effectively. Number two, then get as much information about the property. Get the tax information. Get the listing history. Get information, I already said, from the owner about their house and about what they pay for and about the improvements they've made and about how they feel about it and about the neighborhood. And get information from Facebook, LinkedIn, any social media site, and then inspect the property. So get the maximum information you can about the property from every source that you can find. Now that will help you with the CMA, because when you find out what was paid for, what other properties sell for, what the attitude is towards the neighborhood, towards the house, etc. And then now we really get into the CMA. Get the maximum number of comparables possible. Now, I know that you can go to your computer in any real estate office in the country, and you can pull a CMA program, and it will pick comparables for you, and it will give you a very good CMA. Well, very good in terms of it's handsome, it looks good, it's a great presentation piece, and it pretty accurately determines price. But there's nothing like getting in your car, driving through the neighborhood, looking at the subject property, looking at all the comparables that you can pull, the ones that were selected for the CMA and the others. So you really know as much about the comparable properties, look up the tax records as well as the MLS. You know as much about those properties as the owner does. So when they ask you about a particular property, you know it. By the way, this document is called Most Accurate CMA in the Real Estate Grad School Library. You can be making notes or watching this webinar again in the Real Estate Grad School under Coaching in First 15. This webinar will be available to those of you that are guests and are not here regularly. The Monday webinars are available to you. So number 5, after you've got all those comparable properties, you sort them. You sort them and you decide which ones are the best comparables. Now, perhaps the computer chose the best comparables. Perhaps there's a better comparable or one that, even though the computer didn't choose it, you want to make sure that your owner sees it because it has an important impact on the way you're going to recommend price. So then you prepare your market analysis. You can change the comparables that the CMA program select, or you can select your, plug in some others in most programs. Then just really quickly, not taking a long time, just rehearse your pricing presentation for this specific property and this specific seller. Just go through, based on the questions you've heard from the seller, the conversations you've had from the seller, what you've heard from the neighbors, what you know about the neighborhood, what you know about their move, and why they're moving and when they're moving. Just do a quick preparation, or a thorough preparation if you want. Consider their move, their motivation, their urgency, the work they've done to their house. Well, Andy, not quite. Most sellers who really want to make their move really are very realistic about price. Okay? Where do you learn to do Facebook? Not sure to answer that question, but we have some Facebook webinars on the in Real Estate Grad School. But agents say, well, every seller is going to overprice their house. Of course, every seller is going to want to overprice their house, but as they want to make their move, they're going to work with you. People buying that new house, making that move, will find that more compelling than making a mistake about their house. So, you may ask the seller why they're moving, where they're moving, when they're moving, how important the move is, and carefully discuss their plans. That's how you build rapport so they like you. Then you present your marketing plan, how you're going to help them get the highest price, and that's how they learn to trust you. And then you introduce the topic of pricing. I say, explain the difference between market value, which is what buyers are paying for houses, so that the buyers really determine what the value of the house is. A friend of mine selling their house in Rochester, New York, and he said, but my house is worth this. I said, it'd be really nice if you could determine what your house was worth, but you're not going to determine it. It's the buyer. And the price is the price they put on it. They could put $1 million price on their house, but it may be worth $189. So he really thought his house was worth $175 to $180, although the comparables clearly pointed out it was worth $165. And when he got an offer for $175, and then it had $10,000 worth of repairs, it was really $165. So explain market value, the value that the buyers will determine based on comparable properties. I like to point out to people that buyers have access to all the information about what properties have sold for. So then review the CMA, review the sold, the for sales. I like to also review the expired so they can see what people are not getting for their house. To me, that's as important as what people are getting for their house. Not as important, but it's a reflection on how high a seller can go and not hurt themselves. So then ask them to choose the asking, then recommend an asking price. I do believe you need to recommend a price, but it's only a recommendation because you're going to then ask them to choose a price. Andy, you should get on one of our live calls because you clearly have a very strong feeling about pricing, and I know we can address that very strongly. I will share your thought about fighting the appraiser on our live call at 8:30. So there is a pricing message. I do have a couple minutes so we can go through this. What you want to explain to the seller is, I'll show you all the information that you need to choose the asking price that's going to get you the most for your house, and then I'm going to recommend a price to you. Please remember that the decision on asking price is yours. You choose the initial price, and you always make the decisions about price, because that's just the truth. They do choose. They can agree with you, so they choose the price you recommend, or they can choose a different price, or they can choose another realtor who will agree with them on price. But they control the price, so you're just giving them back the control they already have. You say to them, my strength is in marketing property, and get that. The maximum number of buyers to your property gets you the highest price possible, but all the decisions about price now, as you put the initial price on the property and later, are yours. I'll give you strong recommendations. I'll justify them, but the decision is always yours. Explain that you have two main jobs: to market the property so they get the highest price possible, and you're very good at marketing the property, and recommending the initial price and any future prices so you can make adjustments as necessary, but they're in control of the price. And that causes them to relax and be more cooperative with you. You will get the price you want, and you will get price reductions more easily when you let them see, when you show them they control the price. Yours are simply recommendations. You actually will see you get far more cooperation. So your ingredient for your recipe of success today, your homework on your next listing, make one improvement on how you prepare and present price. Use Real Estate Grad School and our recommendations, my recommendations, or go online, go to a trainer, go to your broker, your manager. But on your next listing, make at least one improvement on how you prepare and present price. So if you want to hear today's webinar again, you can go to realestategradschool.com. Go to realestategradschool.com. And those of you who work with me and make so many sales because you follow my advice, I appreciate the fact that you're sending me messages that this is precisely what you do. Kevin, thank you for your message, and others. Keith, thank you. Coaching, go to coaching, go to First 15, and if you're not a member of our club, you're not coaching with us already, you will find that we have the most cost-effective, comprehensive coaching on earth, more support, more guidance, more tools, and better tools. So call us, and we'll talk about getting you hooked up with our group coaching program or our one-on-one coaching program. We will be having live webinars with exact solutions this Wednesday, and Follow-Up Boss. And Follow-Up Boss is becoming a very, very popular program. I'm eager to hear what they have to say on the 22nd. We will have live calls today at 8:30 and 11:30, and we can continue talking about price and whatever other topics you may have in mind. Hug the ones you love. Make a great day. Look forward to working with you, talking with you, helping with you. Our mission for the last 20-plus years has been helping agents, improving the lives of real estate agents by improving their production, improving their income, and improving the quality of their lives. And glad to have you here. Make a great day. Bye.